Post-training notice. National First Class Registered Exorcist. Chapter 86. Breakthrough. The elevator door was half open, and the alarm sounded throughout the Exorcist Committee building. "Run," Xiang Cheng said. The two of them rushed out of the elevator. "Who's there?" The first person who noticed them was the security guard who was checking badges in the hall. After the window was moved to the second floor, the exorcists had stopped working on this floor. The secret security service swarmed over and pulled out pistols. Xiang Cheng, carrying Zhi Ziaduo, slid down the smooth floor. Shots rang out from behind them. Zhi Ziaduo took a quick glance outside the fountain, only to see doves rush in with a swish. Without glancing over, Xiang Cheng flapped the Yao imprisonment banner open. A tiger Yao roared as it came out of the banner and knocked the security personnel to the ground. Zhi Ziaduo said, "We can't go out the main door now. Go down." Chaos reigned behind them. Xiang Cheng and Zhi Ziaduo rushed straight into the shopping street. The two of them charged into a supermarket. Xiang Cheng was a little hesitant to use a magical artifact now, but there was a loud gunshot from the back and the exorcists in the supermarket were all alerted one after another. Enforcement of public safety. The security guard yelled, apprehending unauthorized personnel. Everyone stepped back. Originally, some people wanted to help catch Xiang Cheng, but when they heard what was being shouted, everyone put away their magical artifacts and weapons. "You exorcists are really too." The captain took a group of secret agents behind the cash register to reload. Xiang Cheng pushed a shelf towards them, while Zhi Ziaduo scrambled around, trying to find something on the ground. "What are you looking for?" Xiang Cheng asked. "Hold on," Zhi Ziaduo replied. Zhi Ziaduo stuck a flame talisman on the furnace, and with a bang, the furnace spewed out blue fire, and the people behind the cash register started to shout. "You have already been surrounded," Xiang Cheng sarcastically said, "a bunch of trash." A machine gun started to strafe, and it swept all the way along the shelf. Bullets flew sideways, and after a short pause, the smoke of gunpowder filled the air. 3 seconds later, Xiang Cheng vaulted over the shelf, his whole body turned sideways as he rotated gracefully in mid-air. All the secret agents pulled the trigger at the same time, but using centrifugal force, Xiang Cheng shook out the Yao imprisoning banner like a magician. With a monster's cry and a loud bang, a 3-meter-tall mammoth rushed out of the Yao imprisoning banner and charged towards the cash register. There was chaos behind the cash register. The fluorescent sign at the top of the supermarket was destroyed, and the mammoth took several bullets, howled, and pretty much ran wild inside the supermarket, crashing into everything around it. "Are you ready?" "Almost." Zhi Ziaduo put a fisheye on the fire to heat it up. The fisheye's color kept growing darker, changing from white to blue and then to black. Zhi Ziaduo shouted, "Run!" Xiang Cheng took back the mammoth and geesh, and holding Zhi Ziaduo in his arms, they rushed to the depth of the supermarket. In an instant, the fish's eye made a light pop and exploded. A flood gushed out of that little bead and filled the whole supermarket. The waters rushed out like a tsunami towards the Secret Service agents. "Ah!" Zhi Ziaduo glanced at Xiang Cheng and froze. "What's the matter?" Xiang Cheng asked. Xiang Cheng's face had returned to normal at some unknown time, and it was just as handsome as before. "Great," Zhi Ziaduo said, "you've changed back." "That's terrible," Xiang Cheng said instead. "What's the matter?" "The puppet has been found," Xiang Cheng said. "If the magical artifact is broken, my face will change back. They have already found out that the one in the prison is a fake, and Zhou Mokuo will personally come to catch me. Hurry, go." "Here." When Zhi Ziaduo saw the exit, he pulled Xiang Cheng and rushed in. Inside was a dark corridor, and there was a fluorescent sign flashing within. The sea water poured in along the corridor. Zhi Ziaduo retreated a few steps and looked at the fluorescent sign. Xiang Cheng said, "What are you looking at?" Zhi Ziaduo pulled Xiang Cheng and bumped into the wall. Xiang Cheng was stunned and allowed Zhi Ziaduo to drag him into the wall. With a hum, the sound of water and gunshots outside all disappeared as they entered a dark room. "Who's there?" a voice said in the dark. "Xiang Cheng." "Zhi Ziaduo." "Two children." Zheng Qin's voice said calmly, "Fated." Zhi Ziaduo remembered. This was Tonggu's shop. It was actually still open? So, it had moved to the supermarket. Said Zhi Ziaduo, "Excuse me, outside." "Since you're here, take it easy ba." Tonggu casually said, "You've already come in, it's not like I can drive you away." Their eyes adapted to the light, and they saw Zheng Qin sitting on a coffin. Tonggu was in front of him, divining his fortune. Zhi Ziaduo didn't know whether to stay or go. He was afraid that Tonggu would sell them out to the Exorcist committee, and Zheng Qin, who had an even higher status than Lin Yura, was also sitting there. But in the elevator, since Zheng Qin didn't say anything, maybe he didn't care about the Exorcist committee. Zhi Ziaduo glanced at Xiang Cheng, and Xiang Cheng motioned for him to not talk. They just stood there quietly. "The heavenly water hexagram." Tonggu slowly said, "The heavens have been separated from the waters and their flows are in reverse. Things will not flow smoothly, and this will bring about a defeat for both sides." Zheng Qin was silent, and his eyes showed the light of his golden dragon pupils. A wind-catching bottle on the shelf made a slight sound. "What's going on outside?" Tonggu noticed something. "You guys even invited the old Buddha down here. My little temple can't hold this big Buddha." Zhi Ziaduo glanced back, while Xiang Cheng pondered for a moment and said, "Leave it to me. I'm sorry to bother you too." "Wait a minute." Zheng Qin raised his hand and motioned for them to not leave. Then he said to Tonggu, "Do another divination and see what is going on with them." "This is the third divination today." Tonggu said, "If old Zheng hadn't come here in person, I wouldn't do it." Zheng Qin put on his sunglasses and said with a smile, "Naturally, I thank you for your good grace." Tonggu made a divination, said quietly, pondered for a moment, and then said, "Enough, I'll do a friendly favor without causing any trouble for myself. Get into the coffin ba." Tonggu waved her fingers, and Xiang Cheng and Zhi Ziaduo immediately ducked into the coffin. It was really empty, and there was even a breathing hole at the top. They were crammed into a narrow space, and their bodies were pressed close together. The Tonggu knocked on the table with her webbed fingers, and the coffin lid closed. Zhi Ziaduo didn't have any place to put his hands, so Xiang Cheng lowered his head and let him put his arms around his neck. Their lips got stuck together, and Zhi Ziaduo felt that he and Xiang Cheng were both hard. They moved against each other. There was a smile in Xiang Cheng's eyes. He kissed Zhi Ziaduo on the ear, his breathing had grown fast. "Master Tong." The next moment, Lin Yura's voice rang at the door. Zheng Qin glanced back. The Tonggu didn't answer. Seeing Zheng Qin was there, Lin Yura immediately said, "I've intruded, I'll wait outside for a while. If you have any words or bullshit to say it quickly." Tonggu said, "I'm going to be off work shortly. My shop has already been chased all the way here, what else do you want?" High heels clacked, and Lin Yura stopped outside the coffin. "Zhi Ziaduo." Xiang Cheng and Zhi Ziaduo. Lin Yura said, "Have they been here? It's impossible for ordinary people to see my shop." Tonggu asked instead, "What do you think? Old Zheng has the dragon pupils, and you have yin-yang eyes. Besides you two, I don't take the initiative to open up the 3 world gates, so who would be able to barge in?" "I'm afraid that might not be the case." Lin Yura said coldly. "That is to say, you think that me and old Zheng are hiding your criminals," Tonggu said. "Teacher Zheng, did you see those 2 children?" Lin Yura asked. Zheng Qin smiled. I want a word from you. Lin Yura said. Zhi Ziaduo was a little surprised that Lin Yura actually talked to teacher Zheng like this. When he saw them together in the Exorcist committee before, Lin Yura had been very polite. No. Zheng Qin said, I'm old now, and going blind. Then that's all. Lin Yura said coldly. The high heels clacked, and Lin Yura left, but Tonggu didn't release Yang Cheng and Zhi Ziaduo. Today's 3 divinations were all ominous. Old Zheng, please reconsider. Tonggu said lightly. Zheng Qin sighed and shook his head. I'm so old now, and there's only so many things I can think about. The Ming hexagram, with the sun below the earth, signifies that it's better to withdraw. It's an unlucky time, and you should not have come out. The song hexagram, with the waters in the heavens, means things will seemingly go smoothly, but in fact, will turn vicious. You must be careful. What about the third divination? Zheng Qin asked. The Tonggu didn't answer. After being quiet for nearly a minute, she replied, the Fu hexagram, with the lightning in the earth, means that things are changing, and there will be a reversal of the flow. The inside is yang, and the outside is yin. At this moment, Lin Yura came in again. Excuse me. Now what? Tonggu was unhappy. Zheng Qin laughed. Lin Yura said, please give me a divination. Since you already know everything, Tonggu said lightly, why do you ask me? Lin Yura did not speak again, then replied, very good. Lin Yura left. This time, Tonggu released Xiang Cheng and Zhi Ziaduo. Zhi Ziaduo thought, so dangerous. They stood behind Zheng Qin, who said, don't tell anyone what you hear today. Zhi Ziaduo and Xiang Cheng bowed and answered affirmatively. I'm closing up shop. Tonggu said, please return ba. Can you give me a divination? Xiang Cheng suddenly asked. Not now. Tonggu said, come tomorrow. Everyone can only ask me 3 times in their lives, and you 2 have already each done it once, so you still have 4 times left. Go back and talk it over again before you come back. Thinking of Lin Yura's words, Zhi Ziaduo asked curiously, do you only do business with people who can see the store? Of course not. Tonggu said strangely, why do you ask me that? How could I live off with only those people's business? That's not. Said Zhi Ziaduo. How can other people come in? Everyone has 3 opportunities to enter my store in their life. When the opportunity comes, they can naturally see it and come in. Tonggu said, I'm so tired of you guys who can see everything, always breaking in here. Sorry. Zhi Ziaduo hurriedly bowed to Tonggu. Tonggu said, it's all right. I'll take them out. Zheng Qin said, let me borrow the back door of your shop. The Tonggu didn't say anything. Zheng Qin motioned at Zhi Ziaduo and Xiang Cheng to follow him, and he went around Tonggu's counter and opened the curtain. It was dark inside, but as Zheng Qin walked, the surroundings lit up, as if going from night to day. Everywhere was grey, and Zheng Qin opened a door and went out. Zhi Ziaduo turned around, and he was surprised to find that they had come out of an electrical box on the street. Zheng Qin closed the door. There was a red flag propped up by the roadside, and a disciple in a Chinese tunic suit opened the door of a car. Zheng Qin said, I want to chat with you guys for a bit. How about you let this old man be the host, and we eat a meal at Dongleshun tonight? A wolfhound ran towards them. Zhi Ziaduo waved at the dog to tell him not to turn into a human. He took the dog into his arms and got into the car with Zheng Qin. The hot pot shop was steaming. Zheng Qin ordered a few cups of light wine, while Lang Dog lay down to gnaw at a sheep's head. Zheng Qin took off his sunglasses and flipped through Zhi Ziaduo's notebook. Did you make the knife? Zheng Qin asked. Zhi Ziaduo remembered the third thing that Zheng Qin had given him, the letter, the drawing in the letter, and a knife. At that time, he was in Kaifeng, and after they had resolved Xiang Cheng's issue, he had lost his memory for a long time. When his memories had returned, his notebook had been returned to him, and the drawings were still in the notebook. Not yet. Zhi Xiaoduo said. Xiang Cheng respectfully poured out the wine for Zheng Qin. Even if his father was still alive, Zheng Qin still counted as his elder. After living for more than 200 years, who knew how much seniority he could claim? Lazy. Zheng Qin said. Zhi Xiaoduo hurriedly said, I will do it as soon as possible. Thank you for your support today. Xiang Cheng said. Zheng Qin waved his hand to show that there was no need to be so polite. What are your next thoughts? Zheng Qin asked. I think you two can't stay in the Exorcist committee any longer. Xiang Cheng nodded and said, we haven't thought it through yet. Now that I have the weapons, I will look for the golden arrows. Does Teacher Zhen know where the golden arrows are? Zhi Xiaoduo asked. Zheng Qin shook his head and said, the Akalanatha lineage has been recorded since the Han and Tang dynasties, but now that so much time has passed, many historical materials have long since been lost. Zheng Qin didn't ask them why they had wanted to find the weapons, and Zhi Xiaoduo didn't say anything. It must have been clear to everyone, besides needing them to fight against Mara, what other reason was there? Xiang Cheng said, I searched my family histories and found that the golden arrows last appeared in the Ming dynasty, so after sifting through the records once, I found an overseas cultural relic and bought it back at a high price. They were not, however, the golden arrows. Wu. Zheng Qin nodded solemnly and then said, does the sacred land know what you are doing? Mara cannot sense it? Xiang Cheng replied, but my guess is that the blood devil must have sent someone to track me down. I have a subordinate who is keeping things under control in the sacred land. Blood devil. Zheng Qin shook his head, and a faint smile appeared in the corners of his mouth. Zhi Xiaoduo remembered that Zheng Qin and the blood devil were martial brothers in the past. Maybe they could get some useful information from him this time. Is the blood devil very powerful? Zhi Xiaoduo asks. Shikshan has been studying one thing his entire life. Zheng Qin replied, how to live on. Zhi Xiaoduo didn't say anything and took a look at Xiang Cheng. He has learned how to refine evil arts. Zheng Qin said, so he set himself onto the path of demonic cultivation and put a seed of Mara into himself. Zhi Xiaoduo vaguely thought of the short knife and said, is that knife? Zheng Qin nodded slowly and replied, more than 100 years ago, our Shifu thought about using the celestial constellation saber to kill him, using the power of the star palaces to destroy the evil blood in his body. However, for many years, Shikshan has remained dormant in the sacred land. Instead, he has refined a lot of evil things. Dinghai is one of his creations. This time, you two need to leave the Exorcist committee, and you can't ask for help from the organization anymore. So presumably, the Exorcist committee and the sacred land will jointly pursue you. Zheng Qin frowned and said, you must be careful. What can the blood devil do? Xiang Cheng asked. Shikshan's evil power is not trivial. Zheng Qin said, he can use blood to perform spells, and you are all flesh and blood. If you get a little close to him, your blood flow will be very easy to accelerate, and it will become manic and uncontrollable. In addition, he can use himself as a conduit to direct his subordinates, which are melded together with devil objects, to act. All right. Zhi Xiaoduo nodded, is there a way to undo his spells? Zheng Qin thought for a moment and said, the powers in Shikshan's evil blood comes from the dragon blood we got in the Kunlun Mountains many years ago, and only draconic powers can suppress it. You have a dragon pupil, but you may not be his match. With all that, you can only fight with the power of Akala, so it's best to be cautious. Xiang Cheng and Zhi Xiaoduo did not speak. After the celestial blade is made, Zheng Qin said, once you can take his heart, the blood devil will be broken by the power of the stars and be restrained all over. The celestial blade will also be stained with blood, and at that time, you have to return the blade to me. Yes. Zhi Xiaoduo said properly. As for materials, I have some. Zheng Qin replied, I will send someone to bring it to you. Zhi Xiaoduo thought, we're still missing a lot of materials, so this is perfect. What happened back then? Xiang Cheng suddenly said. What happened back then? Zheng Qin said slowly, I know some of it but only what you yourself already know. I no longer have any authority in the Exorcist Committee, which is different from your teacher Zhou. Xiang Cheng nodded. Zheng Qin put on his hat and said, young men, there are many difficulties waiting for you two in the future. You must overcome them. Xiang Cheng and Zhi Xiaoduo hurriedly got up to see him off. The disciple helped Zheng Qin put on a big coat, and he left. As the old man walked away, his figure looked a little lonely. It was snowing heavily outside. Zhi Xiaoduo and Xiang Cheng looked at each other. There was a whole table of food that hadn't been touched yet, and Xiang Cheng went to ask. The front desk said that the bill had been paid, and Zhi Xiaoduo knew that Zheng Qin had invited them to dinner, so he no longer stood on politeness. He sat down with Xiang Cheng and began to eat the big servings of boiled mutton. Thanks for your hard work. Xiang Cheng said. Zhi Xiaoduo laughed, and Xiang Cheng cooked meat for Zhi Xiaoduo. In the winter evening, it was the happiest thing in life to drink some wine and eat some hot pot in a shop. I have an idea for what comes next. Xiang Cheng said to Zhi Xiaoduo. I have an idea, too. Zhi Xiaoduo said. Xiang Cheng motioned for Zhi Xiaoduo to speak first. Zhi Xiaoduo told him what Zhou Mokuo had said while he had been hiding under Chen Zhen's desk. Xiang Cheng pondered for a moment and nodded. Where did your parents meet? Zhi Xiaoduo asked, have you ever heard her mention it? I know a little bit about it. Xiang Cheng said, I originally wanted to go to Dinghai, but now that you've mentioned it, it's time to go back. Zhi Xiaoduo asked, what are you going to do in Dinghai? One of the entrances to the sacred land is in Dinghai. Xiang Cheng said. Zhi Xiaoduo thought that Xiang Cheng was really brave and asked, can't you still not use magic? If we decide to destroy the sacred land? Xiang Cheng replied, there is no need to suppress that any longer. The biggest enemy in the sacred land is the blood devil. Besides that, we should be able to deal with everything else. How many Yaoguai are there? Zhi Xiaoduo asked. More than 20,000. Xiang Cheng said, but they're not very strong. Since Zheng Qin has given us a way to restrain the blood devil, after you refine the celestial blade, I'll take it back. More than 20,000. That was a real army. Xiang Cheng was suddenly so arrogant that he wanted to go to the enemy's camp and kill the blood devil directly, which was too cruel. That's too dangerous. It's not dangerous. Xiang Cheng drank some alcohol, and his face was a bit flushed. He poured the alcohol himself and said, we're not really going to slaughter our way in. It's just a metaphor. If you were besieged by more than 20,000 Yaoguai, even if you were Akala, that would be very miserable but. Of course I won't let them surround me. Xiang Cheng said, there are opposing factions in the sacred land itself. After I go back, I will not reveal my identity, but instead let the blood devil seize power by himself. With the sword in hand, I can then take the initiative as Mara's successor and ask him to give up command. If he resists even a little, I'll take the opportunity to kill him and dissolve the entire organization. After that, it still won't be too late to slowly look for the golden arrows, Xiang Cheng said. It's still a bit dangerous. Zhi Xiaoduo said. However, he was very confident in Xiang Cheng's abilities. Once he released the boss snake in real combat, along with his Akala powers and Zheng Qin's celestial blade as the trump card, he might really be able to kill the blood devil. However, the blood devil must have his own trump card. The phone rang. Are you at the airport? Chen Zhen's voice said on the phone. As soon as Zhi Xiaoduo and Xiang Cheng arrived at the airport and got out of the car, they received a call from Chen Zhen. We are going to get on the plane soon. Zhi Xiaoduo said. Don't fly. Chen Zhen replied, the airport is full of exorcists. Zhi Xiaoduo immediately signaled for Huang Shan to turn around and get off the highway. Huang Shan said, we have cultivated for more than 400 years. We are not afraid of them. Forget it. Xiang Cheng said, don't cause trouble. Zhi Xiaoduo looked out the window, only to see the bare trees and grey skies of Beijing. It was dusk, and a dim yellow sun hung in the distance. However, there was at least one good thing about this: as things started to clear up, they only had one path that they could take. Outside the airport, there was a steady stream of vehicles. Xiang Cheng had regained his true appearance and sat carelessly in the back seat, with one arm around Zhi Xiaoduo's shoulder and the other on his hand. They leaned together in silence, took an earbud each, and listened to songs. Are you all right? Zhi Xiaoduo asked. I'm fine. Chen Zhen replied, the time difference helped. The old Buddha is a little suspicious of me, but Teacher Zhou came to the office before, and they just thought that you guys had taken advantage of me. I have already deleted the surveillance footage from the supervision department. As long as you're fine. Seeing Chen Zhen so confident, Zhi Xiaoduo thought that he probably had his own way to deal with it. Don't worry, Ba. Chen Zhen said, after working in the Exorcist committee for so many years, I've become so well versed in cleaning up messes that I haven't been shaken by one in 100 years. My cell phone may be monitored from tonight on, so don't call me if unless something came up. Chao Ben will set out from Guangzhou to help you guys. Thank you. Zhi Xiaoduo said. Zhi Xiaoduo handed the mic to Xiang Cheng and motioned about whether he wanted to say something. Xiang Cheng waved his hand. Don't interact with any exorcists or Yao subduing engineers. Chen Zhen said, your guys' arrest warrants have already been sent across the entire country. Also, try not to contact any Yaoguai who are strangers. Dishuman is the head of the Yaoguai Management Bureau. I'm hanging up, take care of yourselves. Chen Zhen hung up. Xiang Cheng pressed a button on his cell phone, and the music started again. Lang Dog lifted his head and licked Zhi Xiaoduo's hand. Zhi Xiaoduo looked out of the window and was lost in thought. They seemed to have embarked on a journey of escape over the night. Demons, exorcists, and almost all forces were chasing after them, and they only had one another. What are you thinking? Xiang Cheng asked uneasily and leaned close to his neck to kiss him. It's like a movie. Zhi Xiaoduo laughed and said, it's like running away from a big boss villain. We've created 1,000 ripples, and life is full of excitement. In the reflection of the car window, Xiang Cheng laughed. Volume 3, Nine-Tailed Celestial Fox, and... Wait. A voice roared in the cold wind, it's not over yet. There's more. Don't go. Wait for me, Boss, there seems to be a motorcyclist chasing us from behind. Xiang Cheng. Zhi Xiaoduo. A man wearing a helmet and a leather jacket was riding an electric bike. The car had not yet reached the highway and wasn't moving too fast, so the electric bike barely caught up with the black Bentley. Who is this? Zhi Xiaoduo asked. The man outside on the electric bike waved at the window. Xiang Cheng said, don't mind him. Wait, the man was wearing a helmet, and his tears were like two broad noodles flying in the wind, which turned into ice in the cold winter temperature of -10 degrees. Zhi Xiaoduo, why does he sound so familiar? The Bentley accelerated and left the man behind. After a moment, the traffic slowed down, and the man caught up with them again. Zhi Xiaoduo. When the man knocked on the window, Huang Shan asked, do you want to squash him? Zhi Xiaoduo said, we'd better wait a moment. I'll see who it is. Xiang Cheng's eyebrows were deeply furrowed, and he glanced outside with a look of disgust. The electric bike caught up. The Bentley accelerated and shook him off. The electric bike caught up again. Here to help. With things to give you. Zhi Xiaoduo hurriedly said, stop. It's Qian Hezi. Xiang Cheng had to stop the car. Qian Hezi, who was riding the electric bike, rushed to the front and came back with a bag on his back. Xiang Cheng said, what's the matter? Let's talk outside. The three men looked at each other. Qian Hezi patted his backpack and looked at Zhi Xiaoduo for help. Zhi Xiaoduo said, let him come in, ba. Xiang Cheng opened the door, and Qian Hezi came in and said, thank you, it's too cold outside. Let's go, ba, I'm here to help you on Teacher Zheng's orders. Zhi Xiaoduo's mouth twitched, and Qian Hezi said, Teacher Zheng asked me to bring you these materials. Here, they are in my bag. Zhi Xiaoduo vaguely understood something and said, so you are Teacher Zheng's undercover agent? No, no. Qian Hezi said, my Shifu and him are old friends. Your car is too luxurious, and there's even wine to drink. It's great. And it's Martel. Xiang Cheng looked at Qian Hezi from top to bottom and said, I heard that your Shifu had already passed away. Moreover, he is a Yao. What Yao? My Shifu is a Pixiu. Qian Hezi replied angrily. Zhi Xiaoduo. Xiang Cheng. Zhi Xiaoduo suddenly felt that Qian Hezi's behavior have now made a lot of sense. End chapter. Post-training notice. National First Class Registered Exorcist. Volume 4, Dragon. Chapter 87. Wu George. Bark, 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 bark. Bark, bark, bark. Bark huao bark. In the car, chickens flew and dogs jumped around. Qian Hezi said, Zhi Xiaoduo. Hold your dog for a bit. Stop fighting. Lang dog. Zhi Xiaoduo said. Call him Madam Boss. Huang Shan roared, who allowed you to use his name? So rude. I'm going to fucking bite you to death. Lang dog changed into a human being and rushed at Qian Hezi. Everyone shut up. Xiang Cheng thundered. Everyone fell silent for 3 seconds, and then Qian Hezi started shouting, and Lang dog totally ignored Xiang Cheng's warning. The Bentley pulled over to the side, the door opened, and Qian Hezi and Lang dog were kicked out. No. Wait. Qian Hezi ran after the Bentley, and Lang dog transformed back into a dog and chased after the car while barking. The man and the dog ran like crazy, and the Bentley leisurely drove a kilometer away before opening its door again. Lang dog and Qian Hezi were panting with their tongues out when they climbed back into the car, exhausted. That's good now. Zhi Xiaoduo said with satisfaction, you guys don't have the strength to fight now. Qian Hezi. The car finally left Beijing and stopped at a highway intersection. An off-road vehicle came up to them. Xiang Cheng took up the bag, and his men were waiting in front of the car. Everyone has worked hard. Xiang Cheng said, next, everyone should act separately. Yes, great. Boss. Huang Shan led his men to bow together. The supplies are ready. One person said, they're in the back seat. Xiang Cheng and Zhi Xiaoduo switched cars, and Qian Hezi and Lang dog also got in. No fighting. Zhi Xiaoduo warned again and patted Lang dog on the head. Lang dog, oh. Zhi Xiaoduo handed him his cell phone. With a cell phone in hand, Lang dog temporarily forgot the grudge he bore against Qian Hezi for the matter of his Niadan. Qian Hezi wrapped himself in a blanket and slept in the back row. Are we just letting them go like that? Zhi Xiaoduo looked back at the group of Yaoguai at the intersection. The Yaoguai took out handkerchiefs one after another and in the cold wind, waved them 3 times in an orderly fashion to bid farewell to the great King Ba Snake and Empress Ba Snake. Xiang Cheng explained, if we bring too many people, their Yao Qi would accumulate and would become too obvious. It would easily expose us as a target and would bring us trouble. I let them disperse to act on their own. Besides, they can take a plane. Zhi Xiaoduo let out an N. Xiang Cheng drove through the night, flying along the highway. He reached out and put on some music. Even if years fly by. When you grow old, I will still love you as before. Zhi Xiaoduo thought of the blood demon body that Zheng Qin had talked about and said, do Yaoguai have eternal youth? No need to worry about that. Xiang Cheng said casually, us in Akala family grow old and die like normal people. Zhi Xiaoduo laughed, stared at Xiang Cheng, and said, how did you know that I was thinking about that? The corner of Xiang Cheng's mouth drew up. He looked sideways at Zhi Xiaoduo, before turning to concentrate on driving. Zhi Xiaoduo really had thought that since Xiang Cheng had a Yao Han, if he lived for hundreds of years while he himself only lived for 70 or 80 years, how miserable that would be. Every day spent with you is the only time I am truly alive. Xiang Cheng said, what's the use of living any longer if you're all alone? We are all mortals, and mortals should act like mortals. Zhi Xiaoduo said again, the living are merely passing travelers, the dead return to their eternal homes. Xiang Cheng changed gears and passed the toll station. He replied, the heavens and the earth are an inn, for all our grief we inevitably return to dust. I think Chen Zhen is very open-minded. He can't not be. Xiang Cheng said, now we've already used the method of elimination to eliminate 3 people. Xiaoduo, don't blame me if my words are unpleasant. Zhi Xiaoduo grew silent and thought for a moment. It was true that this was the situation at hand. Qi Wei was not a bad person and Xian Hezi had been sent by Zheng Qin. He belonged to Zheng Qin's group and naturally, he held no malice towards them. Chen Zhen had helped them and Zhou Wanyuan listened to her father. Chen Zhen hadn't betrayed them, which also meant that Zhou Mokuo did not take any action. Then the only one who was left was Kita. Kita hadn't tried to contact them the entire time. Although he couldn't get in contact with them, and Zhi Xiaoduo had already switched phones, he still felt uncomfortable after thinking about it a bit. Gagantorura Kita is one of the old Buddhist people, Xian Hezi said from the back seat. I suspect he betrayed you. I don't think it's him. Zhi Xiaoduo said. Why do you say that? Xiang Cheng asked. Zhi Xiaoduo said, I don't feel like he would. He is a very simple person. Xian Hezi sneered. He was pretending. If he was really simple, could he be in charge of the field department? He would have been gobbled up by those members of the Exorcist committee a long time ago. I don't know if Gagantorura was pretending or not. Xiang Cheng said casually, but you can really put on an act. Xian Hezi said, I'm being slandered. I didn't put on an act. Zhi Xiaoduo laughed, and Xiang Cheng stopped pestering him about this issue. He said to Zhi Xiaoduo, it depends ba. If he calls you, you should answer it. Zhi Xiaoduo let out an N, and Xiang Cheng drove into Hebei and found a hotel for them to stay in for the night. It was just like they were taking a vacation, and they continued to travel the next morning. It was about 2,000 kilometers from Beijing to Fengdu, and driving the whole way was still somewhat tiring. Xiang Cheng and Zhi Xiaoduo drove while playing around, and it was like a self-guided tour. They got off whenever they saw some beautiful scenery and had Xian Hezi lift up his cell phone to take pictures of them and the dog at the scenic spots. I want you so much. Xiang Cheng hugged Zhi Xiaoduo as they lay prone in the car. In the bright winter sun, Xian Hezi had gone out for a stroll, while Lang Dog was walking himself. Xiang Cheng opened the car door, pressed Zhi Xiaoduo into the second row of seats, and kissed him on his face and neck. Everything below the neck, we can't do anything Zhi Xiaoduo said. I'm going crazy. We still can't do anything yet. No. Xiang Cheng let Zhi Xiaoduo straddle his leg, and they ground together through their pants. Can I help you with my hands? Zhi Xiaoduo kissed Xiang Cheng's face. Just rub it like this. Xiang Cheng's breath was trembling now. Last night, I almost couldn't control it and it almost burst. Zhi Xiaoduo laughed. He had a spring dream in the hotel last night and had rubbed around against Xiang Cheng while he was within his arms. Xiang Cheng had to go take a cold bath again. Gentler. Does it feel good here? Zhi Xiaoduo reached his hand into Xiang Cheng's sports pants and took out his cock. He then put his hands on the wet head and circled back and forth. SHH. Xiang Cheng kissed him and twitched slowly. His huge thing slid back and forth in Zhi Xiaoduo's palm, and Zhi Xiaoduo said, "Can I use my mouth?" "Forget it." Xiang Cheng was a little embarrassed. "Come on, ba." Zhi Xiaoduo pushed him a bit to get up and smiled. "I can feel that." Xiang Cheng lifted up his sweater and let Zhi Xiaoduo kiss his chest. The end of the points of his strong chest muscles were as hard as copper beans. Zhi Xiaoduo sucked them and kissed his way downwards. Xiang Cheng sniffed Zhi Xiaoduo's hair again and rubbed against him. Just as he was about to come, suddenly a dog jumped up behind him and barked wildly. "Lang dog!" Zhi Xiaoduo roared. Lang dog nearly took Xiang Cheng's pants off. Xiang Cheng was immediately furious and wanted to kick him, but Lang dog ran around the car. "Don't hit it." Zhi Xiaoduo didn't know whether to cry or laugh. A minute later, Lang dog's mouth and limbs were tied in a coat, its eyes were covered with cloth, and it lay on his side in the field, completely unable to get in the car again. Xiang Cheng was lying on the back seat, one foot on the window and leaning against the door. Zhi Xiaoduo was lying at his crotch, lowering his head and licking. Within 5 minutes, white liquid overflowed from Zhi Xiaoduo's mouth. "Woo!" Zhi Xiaoduo went out to wash his mouth out. When he came back, Xiang Cheng smiled as he straightened out his clothes. He hugged him and kissed him again a few times on the lips. I don't need it." Zhi Xiaoduo pressed at his pants, and Xiang Cheng twisted his wrist away with one hand and directly opened up his sports pants. "Ah!" Zhi Xiaoduo's face and ears were red. He looked down at Xiang Cheng and felt a strange pleasure inside. Xiang Cheng's technique was a little coarse, but his actions were very direct. Zhi Xiaoduo was nervous that Xian Hezi would come back, but Xiang Cheng was holding him firmly and soon. "Don't swallow it, The taste is pretty good," Xiang Cheng said. "Is there more? Should we go again?" Zhi Xiaoduo. The sound of Xian Hezi talking to Lang dog could be heard outside. Xiang Cheng immediately helped Zhi Xiaoduo put his clothes and pants back in order, hugged him and acted as though they were doing nothing but having a lover's chat in the back seat. Xian Hezi looked confused when he got in the car. Xiang Cheng also licked his lips, having not gotten enough. "Sometimes I think." The off-road vehicle traveled along the road, leaving Henan behind for Hubei. "What?" Zhi Xiaoduo asked. "If we could always be on the road." Xiang Cheng said to Zhi Xiaoduo, "Throw away those annoying guys in the back seat, that's the life I want to live." Zhi Xiaoduo laughed and said, "When this is done, we'll go back to Guangzhou." N. Xiang Cheng replied. At the ends of the sky and the corners of the earth, underneath the clear sky, it seemed that in this world, their noisy troubles had left them far behind. The bustling interpersonal relationships and the coming crisis were no longer relevant to them. At the beginning, Zhi Xiaoduo had always worried about the blood demon, the Exorcist committee, and the Mara seed inside of Xiang Cheng. However, he gradually found that Xiang Cheng never seemed afraid. After they reunited, Xiang Cheng felt like he had more courage, and that everything could be solved as long as they worked hard. Spring was coming, and Chongqing's spring was very humid. Once they entered the boundary of Bashu and rolled down the window, they could feel the humidity slapping against their faces. "Are you back home yet?" Zhi Xiaoduo asked. "Not yet." Xiang Cheng was in high spirits and hummed a song while he drove. 1, 2, 3. Pinocchio. Xiang Cheng hummed with a smile. Along the way, the mountains were covered with snow as the new year began. On the winding mountain road, the Yangtze River flowed noisily. There was still half a day's journey left to Fengdu, and Xiang Cheng took the national road instead, circling along the mountain road. Has your house been demolished? Zhi Xiaoduo asked. N. Xiang Cheng said, coming back this time, I'll take you to meet my fellow villagers. We'll set out a full feast, invite everyone for a meal and offer sacrifices to my ancestors. That was too manly, even this counted as going home to worship the ancestors. The original residents of the village had all moved away. It was said that they had moved to a new development zone in Fengjia. Since the Three Gorges Reservoir area had already gone through around 2 years of construction, Xiang Cheng was a little confused about which way to go. When the off-road vehicle arrived at the boundary stone, Xiang Cheng got off and asked for directions. Zhi Xiaoduo came down for a stroll and took the opportunity to take a piss with Lang Dog and Xian Hezi. Xian Hezi stretched and suddenly found a line of words written in chalk under the stone beside the boundary stone. What does this mean? Xian Hezi asked. Zhi Xiaoduo gave it a puzzled glance. The land route is blocked, take a detour. Zhi Xiaoduo. Xiang Cheng. Zhi Xiaoduo found Xiang Cheng, who was talking to the mountain residents, and pointed to the boundary stone. Xiang Cheng glanced at it, then turned to get in the car, and backed away from the mountain. Zhi Xiaoduo released Si Gui, and Si Gui flew away. Xiang Cheng asked, have you seen this handwriting before? Who wrote it? I seem to have seen it before, said Zhi Xiaoduo, but I can't remember where exactly. One line looked like a little kid had written it, as it was a complete scrawl. Zhi Xiaoduo also took a picture of the words. Si Gui flew back, his feathers all reversed. There is indeed an ambush. Xiang Cheng said, now we're in trouble. Xian Hezi was eating instant noodles in the back of the car, and he offered, I suspect that it was Zhou Mokuo who lured you here, so that he could catch you all in one go. I don't think so. Zhi Xiaoduo said, when teacher Zhou came into Chen Zhen's office, he didn't know that I was hiding under the desk. Chen Zhen has made a big mess this time. Xian Hezi slurped up his noodles and said, it's not like Zhou Mokuo is stupid. If he has Chen Zhen feed us fake info, we'll press ourselves against the muzzle of the gun. Xiang Cheng suddenly sped up, and Xian Hezi shouted, the noodle broth splashing across his face. Xiang Cheng braked. At the fork of another national highway, 2 police cars were parked. Lang Dog. Zhi Xiaoduo took back his cell phone and said, Si Gui doesn't know how to speak. You get out of the car and listen to what they say. Several cars were being checked at the intersection. Lang Dog transformed into a dog and ran out of the car. Yo! A policeman said, where did this dog come from? Lang Dog wagged his tail and dug at the ground. His ears stood up, and he looked around curiously before running towards the wall to see the words written on one side of the wall. Xiang Cheng said, wife, are those words written in chalk over on that wall? Zhi Xiaoduo looked over suspiciously, but it was too far, and he couldn't see it clearly. It wasn't like they had binoculars either. Lang Dog came back. They are checking ID cards. Lang Dog transformed into a person and began to open a bag of potato chips. What's written on the wall? Xiang Cheng asked. I don't know. Lang Dog said, I can't read. There was an X there. Zhi Xiaoduo, you can't read but you still looked at it for so long. Lang Dog looked at Zhi Xiaoduo as if he felt wronged, so Zhi Xiaoduo had to stop. Xiang Cheng backed up and left. They couldn't enter either Yunyang or Fengjia, so Xiang Cheng had to go on the expressway, bypassing Kaixian, heading to the Wanzhou district instead. Where to now? Zhi Xiaoduo pressed a button on the GPS to look at the map. To the main city. Xian Hezi said, there are many people in the main urban area of Chongqing. Xiang Cheng thought for a moment, and then replied, there are more than 20 million people in the main urban area, so no matter how much they investigate, they won't be able to find us. Xian Hezi, do you have anyone there to meet us? I have a Shishu in Chongqing. Xian Hezi replied, maybe I can ask him for help. Xiang Cheng called Huang Shan and asked him to prepare a car with a local license plate so that they wouldn't be checked again when they entered the city. Zhi Xiaoduo asked, is Chongqing strictly controlled? The mountains in the southwest stand high, and the emperor is far away. Xian Hezi said, it's similar to the situation in Guangzhou. Unless there's a special mission, the reach of the Exorcist committee can't extend this far. You guys are also locals, so you don't have an accent. Xiang Cheng said casually, there is still a difference between Fengdu's accent and that of the main city. Zhi Xiaoduo said, I actually really want to visit the local Exorcist committee. Xiang Cheng said absent-mindedly, do you want to go there and issue a challenge? Xian Hezi said, I can take you there. It's easy, I guarantee no one will discover you. Zhi Xiaoduo just felt that every local Exorcist committee had its own local characteristics, such as Yulan Lane in Guangzhou, the Yellow River Banner in Zhengzhou, and the Lingjing Hutong in Beijing. Chongqing's Exorcist committee is in the market. Xiang Cheng replied, it's behind the flower market, but you can only exit from the flower market. People get checked at the entrance, but if we're free, I'll go take you to issue a challenge. Zhi Xiaoduo hurriedly indicated that there was no need. Safety should come first. When they entered Kaixian County, at least no one tried to check their IDs. Xiang Cheng automatically switched to speaking the Chongqing dialect, and after asking for directions, he drove to a gas station. There was a white Audi SUV parked outside, and the license plate had been changed. Great King. It was obvious that his subordinates had been waiting here for a long time. Don't call me Great King. Xiang Cheng threw his bag onto the car and said, where's Huang Shan? The steward has booked a hotel in the downtown area. The subordinate bowed and handed a hotel keycard to Xiang Cheng and continued, there are exorcists in Chongqing and Chengdu at the railway stations and airports, but it seems that you are not their target. Not us. Zhi Xiaoduo said strangely. Responding to the Empress. The subordinate said, they are monitoring several key areas in the city, and the steward thinks it has nothing to do with us. Don't call me Empress. Zhi Xiaoduo said, which ones? This subordinate is not clear on the specifics. The subordinate bowed and said, the steward said that he has already sent a Yao to spy on them. Let's talk about it when we get there, Ba. Xiang Cheng said, get in the car first. Xian Hezi said to the subordinate, let me have some money, and I will buy a pack of cigarettes for your great king. I don't have any, eunuch. The subordinate said expressionlessly. Xian Hezi, don't call me a eunuch. Zhi Xiaoduo. Your men are very clever. Zhi Xiaoduo said to Xiang Cheng, it's also such hard work for them. They are more willing to work for you than for me. In the afternoon, Xiang Cheng drove onto the expressway. Isn't it all for the great king's sake? Zhi Xiaoduo quipped. It's because you have a dragon pupil. Xiang Cheng said, my identity is that of a high-level Yaoguai, but your identity is even higher. They regard you as a spiritual beast like a dragon. Zhi Xiaoduo suddenly saw the light. No wonder Xiang Cheng's subordinates were willing to get close to him. At 9 o'clock in the evening, they finally arrived in downtown Chongqing. Having traveled for days, Zhi Xiaoduo could finally relax and have a proper dinner. The Liberation Monument was ablaze with lights, and in the Hilton presidential suite, the hotel staff wheeled in their dinner. Zhi Xiaoduo looked out at the night view outside the window, while Huang Shan stood beside them and bowed before making his report. Based on the reports from the local Yaoguai, Huang Shan poured Zhi Xiaoduo a drink and explained, at the end of last month, the exorcists in Beijing began to monitor Chaotian Gate, Linjiang Gate Wharf and Hanja Cave. Xiang Cheng was silent. Now, great king, the boss and his wife have returned. Huang Shan said, the Yaoguai in the whole Bashu area are very excited, as well as those from Hechuan, Guanggan, and the Aba district. They all hope that the boss will lead us. Huang Shan noticed Xiang Cheng's expression as he spoke. Lead everyone to do what? Xiang Cheng replied. A revolution, an uprising. When Huang Shan saw Zhi Ziaduo's expression change, he stopped talking. Zhi Ziaduo. Xiang Cheng said, for the time being, we won't consider it? Yes. Huang Shan replied, then I will let them all go back first to meet the great king. Zhi Ziaduo's mouth twitched, and he thought, no way. Is that how things are now? I'm still a human, okay. After dinner, Xiang Cheng was sweating in the gym while Zhi Ziaduo took notes and asked, will Yaoguai attack humans? If possible, they would really like to. Xiang Cheng wiped away his sweat, put on his fingerless gloves, walked onto the mat, and signaled for Zhi Ziaduo to come over. Zhi Ziaduo closed his notebook and challenged him. Zhi Ziaduo's jack-of-all-trades judo was no match for Xiang Cheng. With a smile in his eyes, Xiang Cheng motioned for him to bring it on. Zhi Ziaduo then bounced back and forth, sneak attacking Xiang Cheng while chatting with him at the same time. The Yao clans have been driven out of the city by the humans for too long now. Xiang Cheng said. Then what will they do? Zhi Ziaduo quickly flew over, punched Xiang Cheng, and immediately retreated. Xiang Cheng. Find somewhere else. Xiang Cheng replied. Zhi Ziaduo lifted his leg to do a roundhouse sweep, but Xiang Cheng grabbed his ankle and laid him down. As he was about to fall, Xiang Cheng was faster than him. He put his arms around his waist and kissed him on the lips. Kick here. Xiang Cheng pointed at his chin and taught Zhi Ziaduo to fight with his bare hands. He explained, when the enemy kicks, take the chance to strike at his front. When the enemy is close, make a fist and give them a hook to the face. But there will always be more and more humans, and they'll end up with no place to go. Zhi Ziaduo then said. Wrong. Xiang Cheng said, the human world and the Yao world have their ups and downs. My father said that it was like the tides, situation change every 100 years. Zhi Ziaduo vaguely understood something. Xiang Cheng took Zhi Ziaduo's fist, twisted him in front of him, and said, when the development of the human world reaches a peak, they will attack each other and die, same as in the world of Yao. So, is the demise of the mortal world coming? Zhi Ziaduo said, I've heard of this theory. When the world is united for a long time, it will need to separate, and after a long separation, they will come together again. And, maybe. Everyone says that this general trend is inevitable. Xiang Cheng said, but with me here, the Yao clan will not invade the human world for the next 100 years. Where do they usually live? Zhi Ziaduo asked. They live in the wilds. Xiang Cheng said, they try their best to avoid human beings. Very pitiful, Zhi Ziaduo said. Xiang Cheng waved his hand, stared at Zhi Ziaduo and said, don't think like that. Come and grab my collar or my arm. Zhi Ziaduo stretched out his hand and grabbed Xiang Cheng's collar. Xiang Cheng broke away, his feet crossing over each other, and he swept his arm around his waist. Zhi Ziaduo fell forward. Do you understand? Xiang Cheng asked as he hugged Zhi Ziaduo, steadied him, and kissed his face. Yes. Zhi Ziaduo said. Then try it. Xiang Cheng grabbed Zhi Ziaduo's arm, and Zhi Ziaduo tried several times as Xiang Cheng explained it to him patiently. In the future, if the Exorcist committee members arrest you, Xiang Cheng said, use this move to knock them down. Xiang Cheng's movements were continuous, and Zhi Ziaduo practiced with him repeatedly for a while. They did the moves on their own and then combined them, all the way until Xian Hezi came in. Xiang Cheng stopped and motioned to Zhi Ziaduo not to practice anymore. Zhi Ziaduo realized that this should be a family martial art, which shouldn't be seen by outsiders. What is it? Xiang Cheng recovered his usual facial paralysis. Xian Hezi looked at Xiang Cheng and said, was that the 13 moves of Akala? How does that concern you? Xiang Cheng said indifferently, if you need to fart, then do so. After you're done, scram. Zhi Ziaduo. Xian Hezi, great immortal Xiang, don't be like this ma. I had to fight with you last time, and I also helped to prevent you from going to the dark side. You can, upgrade me into a presidential suite at the least, can't you? You guys are living in the luxury suite, while I'm staying in a standard suite. If others heard of this, you'd lose face, right? Come here. Xiang Cheng said, last time, I was being controlled by the seed of Mara, so it doesn't count. This time, if you can last for more than 10 moves against me, I'll let you switch rooms. Xian Hezi pulled out his 2 tang sabers and walked onto the mat. Xiang Cheng watched Xian Hezi's actions. Zhi Ziaduo. A minute later, Xian Hezi climbed off from the mat, his face bruised and beaten. Zhi Ziaduo. Xiang Cheng snapped his fingers and called Huang Shan over. Upgrade him to a commercial standard room. Xiang Cheng commanded. Huang Shan bowed and went to do it. What on earth did he come here to do? Zhi Ziaduo didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Xiang Cheng motioned to Zhi Ziaduo to stand up and continued to teach him the 13 moves of Akala. Zhi Ziaduo began to realize the profound meaning of this technique, which was to be as immovable as a mountain. The key was to stand firm, use the other party's strength, and let the enemy fall by himself. Xiang Cheng put his knee between Zhi Ziaduo's knees and said, practice this every day, and soon ordinary exorcists will be no match for you. But I can't use magic. Zhi Ziaduo said, I can only use magical artifacts. Xiang Cheng and Zhi Ziaduo hugged each other as they stood against each other, looking as if they were dancing. Xiang Cheng bowed his head, brushing against Zhi Ziaduo's nose and said, I'll take care of the magic. Excuse me again. Xian Hezi said, I just remembered what I came here to do. Xiang Cheng turned his head and looked at Xian Hezi. Xian Hezi immediately raised his hand in surrendering gesture and said, tomorrow morning, I'll take you guys to a place. ******. The next morning, the light of the sun fell inside the room. Xiang Cheng haven't woke up yet. He was naked with his upper body bare while his lower body was covered with a quilt. He pressed a hand to his forehead, feeling a bit of a headache. The brothers didn't know how to deal with it. Huang Shan said, sorry to disturb the great king. What is it? Zhi Ziaduo asked vaguely. Zhi Ziaduo was also naked. Last night, he and Xiang Cheng hugged and rubbed against each other until they came and fell asleep right after. The white sheets in the hotel and Xiang Cheng's clean and strong body had a pleasant feel to them. With them skin to skin like this, Zhi Ziaduo didn't have the motivation to face the sunshine in the spring morning so soon. One of us. Don't talk. Xiang Cheng said. N. Zhi Ziaduo stretched out his foot and put it against Xiang Cheng's thigh. He rubbed it comfortably and said, he wants quiet, don't ask him who quiet is. Xiang Cheng. Zhi Ziaduo turned over and fell asleep again, hugging Xiang Cheng around the waist. Xiang Cheng asked, how many people have been caught? Zhi Ziaduo suddenly woke up and said, caught? Caught by who? They were captured by exorcists, Huang Shan replied, 3 of them, and we're not sure yet whether they are from Chongqing or Beijing. Zhi Ziaduo also sat up. Xiang Cheng asked, were they drinking and got into a fight? Huang Shan replied, they were asking for trouble. They played mahjong with others. They lost, started a fight and were then discovered by the exorcists. End chapter.